Namaskaram. This is the only video you need to watch to clear your CA exams in 100 days. Let's have a quick look at the agenda of this particular session. Why 100 days? Are 100 days enough? Why many students are not able to clear at least one group even after 100 days of preparation? And what needs to be done to clear both groups in 100 days? Let's start with the first one. Why exactly 100 days? Practically, after the results of the previous attempt, we are left with 110 days. Let's say in May, the results are released in July, and then the next exam happens in November. Between July first week and November 1st, there are roughly around 110 days. The same is with November attempt. Results are released in January. So between January 1st week and May, we have roughly 110 days. 10 days of normal loss. Effectively, we'll be left with 100 days. And second question, are 100 days enough? Now, if you're seeing this on the image, this time all I have is 80 days for my exams. I have started preparing under the guidance of Himakansan and the result is passed. Now I'm talking about somebody who has failed a couple of times and then cleared both the groups in 100 days. Not just Suresh, we have done it 300 plus times. So we know the timelines, we understand what can be possible in 100 days. And not just this, we in fact got a copyright for the framework, like a blueprint. So we are very sure that 100 days is more than enough for you to clear your CA exams. And looking at 100 days, if you're a full-time student, you have 1000 plus hours, which is easily used to clear both groups. And even if you're working professional, by investing 500 hours, you can clear at least one group. And the most important hack is, when it comes to time, utilization is important than availability. Even when you had more than 100 days, when you cannot clear, which clearly implies that it is not about the time availability, it is more about time utilization, which we are very good at. Let us look at why many students are not able to clear at least one group even after having 100 days of preparation. Now, this is where you will get extreme clarity on why things are not working even after studying hard. The first one, a lot of students generally overthink and keep procrastinating their studies on a daily basis. Now, what will this do? It will lead to confusion and indecisiveness. When you're thinking continuously, when you're not doing them, more thinking and less execution will lead to confusion and indecisiveness. Now, when you're confused and indecisive, that will force you to frequently change plans. Your timetable, which you have set today, if you're not implementing it tomorrow, day after tomorrow, this becomes something else. So, frequent changes in plans will force you to take decisions on a daily basis. Every single day when you wake up, you have to once again decide whether you should continue the previous day target or whether you should start studying something new. So, whenever there is daily decision making involved, the execution goes for a toss and your routine will become very irregular and unproductive. So, what is the problem with an irregular routine? Obviously, it will take very long time to complete your syllabus, and if you're taking too much time to complete your syllabus, you have very little time or insufficient time for cumulative revision, or also the frequent multiple revisions which you have to do in the intervals also. And insufficient time for revision leads to slow and low recall in exams. What do I mean by this? While you are sitting for your exams, you can attempt less marks because your brain is not operating at the speed required for examination. You may not be able to attempt all the 100 marks, and most importantly, every question which you attempt will end up scoring less marks. So it's a double hit: less number of marks attempted and less number of marks scored per question, which will outrightly hit your aggregate score, which will get stuck somewhere around 130 160 even after preparing for 3 months. So at this junction, you might have understood what is going wrong with your attempt. Now let's see what actually needs to be done to clear in 100 days. If you're a full-time student, both groups are possible. If you're a part-time student or a limited time student, one group is at least possible. Having said that, it depends on the utilization of time. Now let's see what exactly is a game-changing factor here. We call it our secret hack. We use the process called planning, implementation, and improvement. I'm repeating it: planning, implementation, and improvement. What do I mean by planning here? When you're talking about planning, all the decisions all the decisions surrounding your examination of a particular attempt should be thought through and closed quickly. For example, single versus both groups, you should have reasonable clarity. You should decide, okay, this is the group which I'm going to write, and if possible, I'll pick up the additional group. So you should not get stuck forever with that decision. So you have to quickly move. Sources of studies: analyze 2 3 books analyze 3 4 faculties and decide it within a week, whatever is the sources of study. Once you decide, you should not change it. Place of study: are you studying at home, are you going to a library, and are you going to study exclusively, or are you picking up a job? If you already have a job, are you resigning from a job? All these decisions have to be taken immediately without any drag. Support system: are you taking coaching, do you want to take mentorship? Whatever support you want, you have to take a quick decision. Next, strategy: you need to have a clear cut strategy in terms of days. Like, out of this 100 days, how are you allocating at an overview level in terms of syllabus completion, in terms of revision, in terms of exams? And you need also have a schedule strategy at the overview level, schedule at a daily level. So daily targets and weekly reviews you should plan. I'm just quickly sharing a couple of examples to visualize. For example, this is what we make our super students do. So in 100 days, the first 70 days goes for 100% of syllabus completion plus effective revision plus practice exams. So here the ratio is 70 is to 20 is to 7. 70% for syllabus completion, 20% for revision, and 10% for exam practice. Next 30 days, this is the second phase. Next 30 days will make you do cumulative revision plus simulation exams. So 70% for revision and 30% for exams. So depending on the phase. In the final phase is where you exclusively focus on the 1.5 day revision plus 3 hour exam strategy. As you can see, at each and every phase, the focus is different and you have to adapt accordingly. So it also once again depends on whether you're writing group 1 or group 2 or both groups, and there has to be reasonable customization for different categories of students. So this is how we have divided the 100 days according to your life situation. On a daily basis, what would happen? It is important for you to know that each and every subject in each and every chapter has to be broken down. As you are seeing on the screen, you can see the required number of hours for each and every chapter, right? So your preparation cannot be vague. You just cannot say that I'll prepare 4 subjects in 3 months. That is not how it is going to work. So what exactly is the number of hours you're allocating? And once you allocate the number of hours, I've just given one more example of the revision week below the SFM. You can see what has to happen on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, what time, what chapter. So this is the level of detailing which you have to start with. It need not be 100% perfect, but at least you should have a basic beginning to work upon, so that you need not take daily decisions. Okay, so this is about the planning part. Let's move to the second eye. If you remember, we spoke about implementation. Now implementation, we are extremely confident about this framework because we tested it all throughout. Every student who has cleared has used this directly or indirectly, knowingly or unknowingly. So that is how we are able to arrive at this. So 5 steps are: first, you have to reset your mindset. Like, your mind should not be shaky. Your mind should not be completely defocused and distracted. You should build it. You should take conscious efforts to stabilize your mind, and you should build a strong routine which is productive on a daily basis. So mindset and routine are very, very important. Unless this is fixed, please don't move forward. So pay some special attention towards mindset and routine, followed by syllabus completion strategy. So syllabus completion strategy, we looked at the example in the previous slide, where you have to look at it every single day, number of hours versus the chapters you have picked up. So this has to be done very detailedly. In our program, we kind of customize it for individual students. And then effective revision methodology, there has to be a clear cut revision methodology followed by an exam presentation mastery. So for each of this we created a customized strategy for each aspect. How do you conquer your mindset? How do you build a routine? How do you do syllabus completion? How do you do revision? And how do you do exam presentation? These modules are available in our super student app. The whole point being, you cannot do implementation randomly. There has to be a process, there has to be a system. For example, in terms of handling your mind, you need to understand this hormonal effect: dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. You need to understand this, keep acting on you. You have to do something about it. In terms of building a routine, any system is fine, but we follow this particular system where we kind of start the day pretty early, around 5 o'clock in the morning. And for this to happen, we once again implement wake up calls and follow up calls. And you can see first slot, second slot, third slot, fourth slot, fifth slot. So all small micro slots divided and mapped with different chapters. So which chapter you are doing is not important, but doing in a systematic and streamlined process is very, very important. This is about implementation. Now here is the thing: just because you implement things, it is not enough. You have to improve. CA exam requires quantitative preparation and also quality of preparation. These techniques have copyrights, and each and every technique will significantly improve your existing position. This will solve the problem of getting the same number of marks every single attempt. And students are getting 140, 150 repeatedly. This is what you're lacking. You're not improving the quality of preparation. You're not adding techniques to how you can maximize your learning process and extract more with your same knowledge. So this is about the techniques. So let's have a quick recap. We talked about planning. We spoke about implementation. We looked into the improvement. So planning should be freezed in terms of taking all the decisions, in terms of understanding the overall strategy and schedule. Implementation, we looked into the 5 steps. First, fix your mindset, build a strong routine, complete syllabus in X amount of time, then keep revising. And finally, you should focus on the exam presentation. For each and every step, there are sub modules which we have to discuss further. Improvement is something which is compulsory. You should use a series of techniques to improve from where you are. If you follow this simple pattern, you can easily clear both the groups. If you're a full-time student, if you're a part-time student or a limited time student, you can clear one group. Having said this, once again, utilization of time is important, not just the availability. So this is what we have. And one more example before I leave. So she was clearly talking about this is her second attempt. I came to sir after failing my November 1 exam. I still remember the call, the amount of faith. Now this is the mindset part. Okay. And the second part, what I observed during this attempt from the previous one was a systematic approach. So this is the routine part. We made her routine in a very, very systematic pattern. Earlier, my approach towards every subject was haphazard manner. What sir did was give me a direction to work with. Once again, strategy, schedule, everything comes into the picture. Earlier, my approach was to just focus on giving group one out of the failure that I faced in my earlier attempt. Sir was the guiding force that led to me that I could write both the groups, eventually led to my success today. Once again, Bhavika also prepared under less than 100 days, prepared for less than 100 days. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So you can have a look at her mark sheet. So decent scores, this is what you can target. Even though you have failed one group in the previous attempt, this is a very good possibility provided you improve, provided you give us that 100 days time. And if you like the approach, if you think this is deep and sensible and this is strategic, you can become a part of our Vision 10,000 CS, where we are focusing on helping 10,000 semi-qualified CS become newly qualified CS, so that the socio-economic status of the entire family improves significantly. And for further details, you have two options. You can attend our 100-day strategy workshop. This is an invite-only workshop. If you somehow got an invite already, don't miss the chance. If at all you don't have an invite yet, you can call us on this number 70759 85970. So it is absolutely possible for you to clear one group or both the groups also within this 100 days. Hope this session has been really valuable to you, and please utilize the opportunity of knowing more by attending our workshop or calling us. All the very best. Please kickstart your preparation immediately. Thank you.